Shkoyach Mebrag for your introductory remarks. It's a stark story. And just want to leg to my own hergish of all that are here, that the taka very, very chaviv back at the Bnei Shalom, that you have the feel for Chendem Bnei Yisrael that are lost, to remember where they come from. They come from the same of us that we come from. Grois Zaydis and Babas and Elter Zaydis, Shainim, Achroinim, Bnei Avram of Yaakov, that they're very, very choshev. Each one has a neshama, very, very choshev. One visiting day in camp, the parents were coming over. They came to visit the kids. They're coming over to talk to Shmuz Abyssal. And one lady came over to me and said to me, I wonder if you ever heard of my grandfather. Who's your grandfather? His name was Shlomo Gansfried. The kids are Shulchan Aruch? Yeah. That was my Elder Zayda. Did you ever hear of him? Yeah. Huh? She didn't quite look like he would be too proud of her the way she was, the way she looked. But Choshev Zaydis, Choshev Elder Zaydis. She ran away. She put a kid in yeshiva. She was coming to Baal Tshuva little by little. I just we always talk about it, and then you met the person who knew who they came from. Gora Choshev. There'll be, just like you say, they're in the Shemayim, there are Amleitz Yosher on them. All of these Zaydis and Bobas are crying about their grandchildren going to Tarbas Ra. And those who are working with them, to Machzah and L'tshuva, there'll be big Amleitz Yosher for everybody who's Isaac in the Refuas and Nefesh that they're Isaac in. So it's really very, very chashuv, all you that are here, that are for that purpose, to be machzer the taiv, because Baruch Hu certainly has special chavivus for everybody. Your davening has special chavivus, everything about you has chavivus by Kodesh Baruch Hu, that you're putting your koiches into his children to make them what they should be. It's like a father would be makatoiv to someone who's saving his child. He wouldn't have enough thanks for saving his child. And we know it's godel hamachtis chaver yosem min hargoy. To machtis somebody in ruchnius is worse than Rashi brings in somebody kills him in gashmius. You see, legabe Mitzrayim do shlishi is mutter lovoy aber moyav dafil derasili of Mikal Hashem. Because the Mitzrayim tried to kill them Gashmi's dick. So the only asset to a shlishi, aber Moyev was machti them, Lev Mikal Hashem, and Gansen. So if so much person is mechaviv somebody else for saving the child from a Gashmi's dick and Misa, halachas kama v'chama, because Baruch Hu was machshav and mensch who saves children from a Ruchni's dick and Misa. We're holding by the parshas by Samikdash, the last 5 parshas of Shmois, and now we have Yikra, Tzav, Shmini. We're all talking about the Karbonos and the Mishkan. And one of the avodas of the Mishkan is the Mizbach HaKtoiris, and which gave a Reach Toiv off. That was different from all those Kalim in the Beis Hamikdash. They didn't have a Roshim outside. The Ruchnis came into Beis Hamikdash, that Mokim, so you got encountered with Ruchnis, because Baruch was Shaykhis. But the koyach of the Ketores was he gave ruach outside for far distances. People were able to have a reach, and a reach Ketores. What was the Ketores? 10 and 1, 11 Ketores. 10 had a reich toiv, and 1 had a reich ra. The chelbana had a reich ra. And they had to put the chelbana into the Ketores with the other 10. Mamel is no reich ra anymore. Came bottle. More than that, we'll see right away. What was the vort? Because Kadosh Baruch Hu gave every yid a certain koyach that he has, nobody else has. And it's a mila, it's special, it's good. And that reach toiv by itself is very good, but if you put it together with another reich toiv, with 10 other good reiches, it makes go gevaldige reich. So, moedik of a reich toiv of the Ketores. That's Keneged Klal Yisrael. Every mensch has a koyach that nobody else has. But if he puts it together with everybody, with all the Yidden together, all the koyches, it makes a gewaldige shleimus for Klal Yisrael, murder Klal Yisrael. That Chelbana, Chazal says, Keneged Pesha Yisrael, the Gemara says. Chelbana the Be'ech Ra. Because one wants to take that Chelbana and I would say, I have no rise to it right now, the chelbana is not stam bottle in the reich toiv, but the whole makeup of the chemical makeup of chelbana, that if you mix it with other spices, it gufa gets a good reich itself. Not pshat that blibes a bad reich, you don't smell that anymore. No, pshat is it becomes itself into a reich toiv. You have things like that the chemical changes and they add something to it, becomes a different zach. Baruch Hu wants it to take the Yidden of reiches toivus, the tzaddikim, and work on those who are not tzaddikim, bring them in and make them over and become tzaddikim themselves. Not just become bottle, but they become changed over to an under zach, to an under metzias, from a over avera to a mitzvah, to a amala mitayra. This is what the reich toiv that went lemerchik, that wasn't miuchet in the Beis Hamikdash itself, in the Mishkan, but it gave a reich toiv that was very different from everything else, that it gave as a koyach, showing Kadosh Baruch Hu's chavivus of the Beis Hamikdash, that the avodah that was done was to ma'achad Klal Yisrael as one, that the Malbim talks about, and the reich toiv Kadosh Baruch Hu has the nachas ruach that he has, that all the Yidden together, all the koyches together, plus they take in those who are menachutz, and they become part of the shleimus of Klal Yisrael. They themselves become shleimim. That's nachas ruach Kadosh Baruch Hu. That makes that asad reich toiv. Kadosh Baruch Hu has nachas ruach from that, and this is what ended to mekarev those Yidden, that those who are zeiche to have Yiddishkeit as part of their life, brought up that way, and now they go and take in the chelbana and change them over, make them at the reich toiv also. This is what the Torah is talking about. That his ratzon is that we should be doing, to take the Yidden into Yiddishkeit and make them Ovdei Hashem. And we tend to feel usually when we carve somebody that we're doing a tova for them, which is true, kavalda tova for them. But we have to realize that we're doing kavalda tova for us. Number one, every yid that becomes from a yid and davens, when Yidden are davening, every person who davens has a bigger koyach for the tefillah to be miskabel by Kadosh Baruch Hu. Tfilas hayochid, it means a lot. Kol shkein the tfilas hatzibur, the bigger the tzibur, the bigger the koich it has to be to break through Shemayim, break through Gzeris. Every Yid that starts davening didn't daven before. All Yidden would be from now. They have how many Yidden in the world? About 12 million Yidden in the world. All 12 million would daven to Kadosh Baruch Hu would break through the Kiyah. Mamish Baal to Gzeris. We don't have nearly that many that are davening from a Yid. But everyone that starts davening, he's doing a tov for us. He's making the chances of tefillah in his kabel much more than it was before. But those, that's a close to Inyan on the reaping the benefits of more Yidden to become from, but those who are in camp itself, working with these type of kids, the hasagas of Yiddishkeit varies in different levels, from total amaratzis and ganzen, not shaykh. Like I mentioned this Monday night, one kid came to camp and heard about Shabbos. Said, Shabbos, I heard about Shabbos. When does it come out? Monday, Tuesday. I didn't know about Shabbos. That it gets worse and worse as time goes on. More nishkach, more shikchas HaTorah. Things that weren't pshutim, and even were pshutim that are not known. And some kids know more than that. Some kids have a shaykhis to some Yiddishkeit, but all of them are weit from what they should be, what the Torah really wants a Yid to be. And there are few things that I think almost everybody with the experience of being in camp would be maskim to, that they get. Number one, by the time and when the mashpia walks out of camp, he's much more knowledgeable than he was before, because the kids ask all kind of questions. Form of Yisaitis, in Yanim that we take for granted and don't really know the reason for it, but we do it because as they at the Tatikaton, and they ask why, and why do you do this, and why do you do that, and we have to find answers, more knowledgeable. But even like the Yisaitis of Yiddishkeit, there's certain things that we should have a poshet idea of how to answer it, but many of us don't have the poshet idea. Amuna pshuta, which is a gewaltige Zach, aber that have a, how do you know there's a God? I'll ask, how do you know Torah is Misinai? They're not asking questions, but simple answers they tell them. But things that some of us we don't bother to ask. But in simple form, not going into the Rambams, more in the Vuchim, or the Shad Yichud of the Chavis Halvavas, plain Poshet. I know it's a God. Just look at yourself, or look at the Bria. How could the Sefer is written by itself? Evolution. You think it's silly, impossible. It has to be a Kriya, it has to be a Boiri. Plain. And they're sad, we're not going to Chakiris and Zachin, but Poshet, plain, simple. How do you know that the Torah is Sinai? Because we have a Kabbalah. So no other religion, like the Chinuch says, has 600 million. Millions of people were made in Sinai. So it's a gala to them. Another religion has a zazach. That one person came along, convinced them, whatever. You have them a Kabbalah from millions of people. Things they don't know. Some of us, we don't know ourselves, didn't think about it. Don't know ourselves. So, Dvorim Pshutim, and even Yisaitis, that we should be familiar with, become Nischadish and Nisbarer. Our own becomes starker. We're supposed to have to tell it to somebody else, explain it to them. Because more Nisbarer to everybody who's talking about it. Number two, these kids look up to B'nai Torah, have to get to know They get off the bus and they see these weird people with black hats and black suits, and they don't not shachas to them right away. Who are these people? After a while, they start feeling and getting a gewaldige chavivstik yachas to the staff, counselors, whatever positions the bochum have. They see how gewaldig they are. They say over one a girl in the girls' camp, after a few hours, came over to one of the staff people crying, "My parents lied to me, my parents lied to me." So what they lied about? They said the religious people are so terrible, they don't care about anybody else, and they always spoke against them. And I see it's so nice and fine and friendly and willing to help and want to be. I see they lied the whole time to me. It's a whole different. It doesn't take too long before they see that there's something hechikite in these people. They have not stam the rum. They're used to people that are Olam Hazard they can mention, but they feel these people have a higher standard of life. It doesn't take too long. And they like I say, after a while they want to put your black hat on. They're dancing and you take a black. When the kid wants to put them, you see that's a big success story. Because they want Messiachis, they want to put on your black hat. I want to put on a black hat also. I want to be part of you. I want to be part of. You'll see as time goes on, it doesn't take too long. After a while, they want the Messiachis to the Olam, to the Bochum that are guiding them, teaching them, and playing with them, whatever they're doing. They see the Hechir type mention. When it comes to that, so they expect more from us. They look up to us. We have to show that we are Taka mention. And we have to do what we have to do to keep up the standard of what they're expecting out of us. We have to push it, act as dive design, like a Ben Torah, and do what we have to do, make sure they come to davening on time, be at the table to be mentioned, to be dive design. Some of these kids, they eat in a way, like from a jungle. They're so used to Elam Hazeh with Zachen, and they look up to those who are teaching them and mishpi on them, and we have to act our role in order to show that we're taka hecher mention, and we have to play the part of course it's not only about playing a part that we expected from us, that we should be acting. This is something that is we're not used to that whole year. We're more or less free to do what we want. When they understand us, whatever friends around us, we should be that, but we're not that. And there's here's gefährlich. They see that somebody's contradictory. Tata the Sasvi is supposed to be a hecher mensch, and he cheats during the game, or he takes advantage, whatever. So it makes a bad roshim. So it's a contradictory. Number 3, that we see the Mesiras Nefesh of these kids after a while, that they want to have Yiddishkeit, and they have to fight their parents, and they have to fight their friends, and they want to do what they want to do, but they have a hard time. Like you always say, that the kid comes up and asks the Shiloh, what should I do on Shabbos? I want to keep Shabbos, and my parents want to take me in the car to McDonald's. What should I do? We have Shilohs like that. It's a big Shiloh. How to answer them? What are you supposed to say? By fight your parents. You fight the parents, they won't to end up in camp anymore. You won't be able to have a chance to mashpia on them, because the parents are trying to make them from. So right away, you're breaking up the family. You want to go for a family trip on Shabbos, and you tell them not to go. And of course, you have to know how to. But in so many different ways, kids want to go to a Jewish school, and the parents don't want to send them for whatever reason, that they so much money, or the friend who come to from, whatever it is, and they want to go, and the parents come on the visiting day, and the parents would tell my parents I want to go to a Jewish school, and we start seeing what they're going through, what they have to go through. For Dover Posh, nobody's stopping us from our Yiddishkeit, and we have no excuse to say that I had too much pressure, I couldn't do it. You see these kids that they have a hard time. They still want to do the Ratzon Hashem. I always say, we see people that are not from. A lot of times we're mezalzel in them. They're not from. They should be from. It's not right. What's so hard to be from? And what are we money from them? We're telling them, give up your lifestyle. You like shrimp. You try to stop eating things that you like. You have to kosher. You're working on Shabbos. Stop working on Shabbos. You can't lose your job. You won't be something you need the money. No, you have to stop. Fight your parents. Give up your friendships, your friends. Give up. We're money from them. Yeah, it should become from. And we're money that this is what you should do. And do we want from ourselves like that? That's right. We grew up from. We don't have any big nishayness like that. Are we money from us, demanding from ourselves such mysterious nefesh, like demand from somebody who's not from that should change this, change that? Are we demand from ourselves? Don't be involved in learning so much. Don't watch Hadibur and all the Sachen that are we demanding such starkheit from ourselves? We demand from them, and there's a big limud. There's another Amayla picking up from working with these type of kids and seeing their mysterious nefesh, what they're trying to do, the odds they're working against, and they want to do the right thing. So there's much to be gained by being in a camp like Ur's camp of Kiruv. A lot can be gained to grow, to feel, to see, to Messiah that is not by other camps that they work with. I hope all camps, but a Kiruv camp has a special inyanim which a person could learn from and grow from, and that's really what everybody's here. That again, that's gewaltige Zach, that you have this hergish and this rotzen to be given nachas to Kadosh Baruch Hu. It's gewaltige nachas to Kadosh Baruch Hu. There's somebody. How can you give a nachas to Kadosh Baruch Hu? No, bring a korban, nachas ruach, nasa b'tzayni. But we can't bring korban today. Nachas ruach. There are a lot of ways to give a nachas ruach, but this one way, nachas ruach, to show Kadosh Baruch Hu that we care, we want, that you shouldn't have a tsar. Because tsar could be yochel. Of all the Yidden that are not from, there's a tsar shchina Kadosh Baruch Hu has, and we're coming to help that situation. Kadosh Baruch Hu take him out of his tsar. So we hope everybody will be niskabel and come and be part of this gewaltige Asik, to become a kind of Yisrael, and we want to be zeicher to make a nachas for Kadosh Baruch Hu.